Are the worlds of Magic the Gathering and D&D going to combine into one giant big multiverse? Well, this free adventure put out by Wizards of the Coast seems to hint at that. Hello everybody, Jordan here, the PH is silent, and today we're going to talk about the worlds of Magic the Gathering and D&D and their cross-pollinating. So many of you probably have seen or know about the Magic the Gathering Adventures in the Forgotten Realms card set that has come out. They're doing a cross-promotion, like we're getting, D&D got Ravnica and Theros and stuff like that. Strixhaven is coming. And on the flip side, now Magic is going to have a Forgotten Realms card set. And I did some preliminary research, and a lot of people are saying that this isn't really part of the Magic the Gathering universe. But if you look at it from the D&D side, it does look like they're bringing in some of those Magic the Gathering worlds into canon Forgotten Realms or D&D universes. So that's what I want to talk about today. If you go to magic.wizards.com, there are stories. Now, when they release these sets for Magic the Gathering, there are various stories that go along. So if we go down here, here's Strixhaven. So we'll click this, and here's the story of Strixhaven. So the card set comes with little short stories and things like that about the world that they're pulling these creatures from. So in the case of Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, it's a couple of playable adventures. So first of all, you should go get these. They're free adventures. They're actually pretty cool. They're for level 8 characters, and I think they're well written and well put out. And so I encourage you to go get them. But for right now, we have these two, In the Scarlet Flames and The Hidden Page. So if we go here, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, we're going to zoom in so that we can actually see stuff here. But we're going to scroll down. And this entire adventure takes place in the High Moors. So I looked it up. So we're going to go to, I think it's Secomber? Yeah. So we're going to go to Secomber here. And the High Moors is just south of it along the Sword Coast. And our adventure for this first one is going to take place here. And Secomber has some importance, and also its importance being really close to Waterdeep. The premise of this adventure, this will dive heavily into spoilers. So if you want to not be spoiled, then do not continue watching this video. But if you want really cool takeaway knowledge, you should continue watching. The adventurers, find some Red Wizard shenanigans going on, and you are trying to locate them. Now, what has happened is that an unknown mage is visiting Waterdeep and things like that, and he's looking for magical stuff, and he gets wind of this secret wizard sanctuary within the High Moors. It's a really old, well, and I shouldn't say really, but it's an older sanctuary that has now fallen into ruin, and it is a forgotten part of the Forgotten Realms. And you're hired to go check it out, following clues. However you really want to get there, there's like a bunch of different adventure hooks here that you can check for, or there's two, but whatever. But the point is that you get information to go to this place called the Wizard's Barrow. So you go there, and it's a fun little place, and you're muddling through, trying to figure out, there's all these different passages and what have you. Some really cool stuff on the floor, like little flavor things that I like overlapping geometries, things that are hinting at otherworldly travel. And there's a ritual casting room that I thought was really cool. And so this whole place is kind of built for wizards in general, and it's very wizard helpful. They talk about these evenly spaced golden discs a lot in this campaign. And one of them is a golden disc with 5 red garnets in it. And I'm trying to find a Magic the Gathering equivalent, but I'm not really sure. And it didn't ring a bell with me in any of the lore that I knew. But there are some wizards that walk around in different colored robes. Here we are. So murals along the 3 walls portray figures in bright robes of green or red or blue, marching in file through an abstract environment. Moving on down, you're looking for information about the red wizards, and specifically this like rogue lone wizard that's out there. So right before you get to the library, you go to this common catacomb and you find a human red wizard named Malavar. I looked up Malavar and I didn't exactly, he's new for this adventure, just generic red wizard, not really sure. But he's almost dead, 1 hit point, being killed by this Tyreus. So Tyreus is our villain for this campaign. And if you bring this person back to life and talk to them, you'll get some information that there's a wizard here called Tyreus. Tyreus is a powerful archmage from another world, and he's looking for an ancient site of mystical power. They tried to recruit him as a red wizard, and he said, no, thank you. He had a hefty tome bound in white leather with 5 sigils on the front held close to him, and that's what he came for, whatever it is. 5 sigils really reminds me of the 5 different symbols for Magic the Gathering. So that's where I'm leaning with this. It's kind of obvious. Kind of a fun thing. There are 2 teleportation circles. One of them is not really working very well, but goes to a ruined wizard's tower overlooking the Sword Coast. The other one goes to Waterdeep in an abandoned house. And that's going to come into play in the next adventure. So jumping over to adventure number 2, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. This one is called The Hidden Page, and it's episode 2. And this is fun. Like, I really think this is cool. This adventure, The Hidden Page, is about finding finding a door that takes you to an extra dimensional space. And that extra dimensional space is also where Tyreus, our villain, is going and things. You're always kind of on his coattails, I should say. The minute that you're there, he has left an hour or so earlier. But we get a lot of extra information in this one. So specifically, this adventure foreshadows a recurring villain named Tyreus. More about his plans and methods can be discovered in future adventures. In this adventure, we get the secrets of Tyreus, and it says, although he does not appear in person in this adventure, Tyreus casts a long shadow. The characters may not discover all of the following information during the adventure, but it can be useful when foreshadowing Tyreus. The wizard who crafted the demiplane at the heart of this adventure is a female human mage called Sylvine, and she was an explorer from Ravnica who visited the realms decades ago. She fell in love with a man who lost his life to misadventure in the High Moor. Sylvine was pregnant when he died, and she gave birth to their son, Tiberio, in Waterdeep. She then eventually returned to Ravnica to raise him, and she passed away when Tiberio was 12. So now Tiberio rebelled by refusing to study magic. He was a craftsman in Ravnica. Tiberio started a family with his wife, and they forbid their son, Tyreus, from studying magic. But their son began learning and rebelled magic that way. Tiberio and his wife passed away from a minor plague in Ravnica, and their son, furious over his parents' fears of magic and over their death and over his own powerlessness, devoted his life to wizardry thereafter. And that is the angry wizard, Tyreus. So ideally, they're going to use the teleportation circle to go to Waterdeep, and within that room, there's a secret door that nobody has really discovered. That door is going to take you to an interesting extra-dimensional island. It's all magically created, but it's just kind of like a peaceful island with ocean salt water, and it's a sanctuary for Tyreus's mother, Sylvine. It's her extra-dimensional space. So here you talk to some of the keepers, which are these magical beings that keep this extra-dimensional space going, and they'll provide you a bunch of information on all of this stuff. You'll also find that Tyreus betrayed the Red Wizard Morwina, who went with him. So there were 2 red wizards, and the 2 of them betrayed that one red wizard in the previous adventure, and now Tyreus himself just betrayed the last red wizard, so Tyreus is out by himself. So she'll give a lot of like his plots and plans, which she doesn't know a whole bunch. An interesting point is in the study, here is where Sylvine did her work and read about topics related to wizardry. The books here cover a variety of topics from architecture to zoology, all from and about the realms. All the spell books and diaries that were kept here have been taken by Tyreus. A first edition, pristine copy of a book called simply Mythologies can be found here, worth 200 gold points. And let's talk about the solarium. So long and empty tables run the length of this room, along the walls and down the center, stained where pots and planters once sat. Now they're all stacked beneath the tables on a floor still stained with good dirt. Sylvine never got around to accomplishing as much gardening as she intended. Nothing grows in this room anymore. A golden disc about the size of a platter and made to resemble a stylized sun hangs on a wall in this room, and it's worth 250 gold points. So what do you guys think? This is really interesting to me. I think we're going to get 5 of these. I think those golden discs mean something. Specifically, the solarium one sounds a lot like the symbol for white in Magic the Gathering. I feel like we're going to get 5 of these. There's going to be 5 golden discs in each of them, and all of those discs are going to point to a Magic the Gathering color. And with that, we're going to open the bridge to other Magic the Gathering realms and maybe a Strixhaven tie-in. I'm not really sure. So although it is official from what I researched that the Magic the Gathering universe is not getting the Forgotten Realms. This is like a little extra thing that's just kind of fun. But however, on the D&D side, it would not surprise me, since we've had previous books like Ravnica, Theros, and Strixhaven on the way, that the Forgotten Realms is going to expand to, or the Dungeons & Dragons multiverse is going to expand to accompany those Magic the Gatherings. One thing I'm really curious about this villain is he is trying to find new types of magic, and so I wonder if we're going to get a version of Magic the Gathering magic in Dungeons and Dragons. So instead of the Vancian spells that are traditional with Dungeons and Dragons, we would have some kind of mana combination spell system. Would that, I don't even know what that would look like. And that just got me thinking, like, what if we have a new class in Dungeons and Dragons called Planewalker that utilizes that to this new type of magic somehow? Could be really interesting. I don't even know how that will work. This is all speculation, so don't take it with a grain of salt. But I will be covering these adventures now as they come out. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like things here, consider subscribing. Obviously, subscribe and hit the bell, because I will be uploading these when I get a chance. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care.